Let's start out by refilling our purple bouncy ball of doom. And while we're at it, our triple stabby. Okay, so we're at 2 lives. I know we still have 7 E-tanks. And hey, speaking of lives... more of these things. Easy enough to take out. Just be careful on the last 2. Okay, Mega Man looks like he's about to throw up in that pose. And I have to go back down the other ladder to get that E-tank. Okay, use the dog. I didn't get hit. But yeah, it definitely looks like the left path is safer. So, it's time for the boss rematches. An interesting thing about the boss rematch room in this game is it's actually set up the exact same way as the stage select screen. So we have Blade Man, Solar Man, Sheep Man, Chill Man, Commando Man, Nitro Man, Strike Man, and Pump Man. I'm gonna go after Chill Man first, because his weakness doesn't do as much damage as most of the other bosses, and he's still a little bit tricky even with it. But yeah, since it is the rematch, I will be using special weapons against them. He's naturally weak to the Solar Blaze. Fire melts ice and all. Like, so much ice! We get it, you're cold. You could really use some sun! One nice thing about the Solar Blaze against Chill Man is it goes both directions, so if you miss him, he can still get hit on the rebound, or the one going the other way. So next up, let's go ahead and do Commando Man, because he's another one of the harder bosses, and I'm fairly full up on life. But his weakness is a little easier to hit him with than Chill Man's, and you can have more instances of it on the screen. So, this is probably the most contrived of the weaknesses. There's some comment in some external media about Nitro Man using blades to cut open tanks, which I'm pretty sure was just a justification for we figured out the rest of the weakness loop, and we need some way to make this last guy fit in and make sense. So, let's see, next up, let's do Blade Man, because I think he's actually the obligatory boss who's actually harder with his weakness. Commando Bomb only deals 2 damage if you hit him with it directly, so you want to hit him with the Shockwave. And I apparently forgot how to fight Blade Man too. So you kind of want to try to time it so that the bomb arrives at the wall before he does. If you do it right though, it can do a pretty good chunk of damage against him. So next up, let's go after Pump Man. He's weak to the Thunder Roll because water conducts electricity all too well. Thunder Roll is still a pain to hit things with, but it deals a decent chunk of damage to him. Especially if he's kind enough to stand there for a little bit. Also gets rid of his shield, which doesn't make a lick of sense physically, but... And there's an example of the wool getting absorbed. Zap! So now next, let's go for Sheep Man. Yeah, honestly, after the first 1 or 2, it really doesn't matter which order you take him in. Because most of the bosses in this game are pretty easy to hit with their weaknesses. So, interesting thing about using Rebound Striker on Sheepman is if it hits the cloud that is actually him, then it'll knock him out of that attack. I'm pretty sure the damage bonus thing does still apply. And I'm out of it. I think it actually still does more damage against Sheepman when you bounce it more times. But of course, it's harder to hit him after bouncing a certain number of times, so just fire and hope for the best, I suppose. Now this one actually does make sense. Sheepman's an electric robot master, and rubber doesn't conduct electricity. So, Solar Man. He's weak to the water shield, because water puts out fire. And he really does not like it. Alright, Solar Man. I have a surprise for you. Let's see how you like people standing next to you with a big hitbox. Yeah, that'll smother your flames a bit, won't it? Wasn't particularly smooth, but it worked, I suppose. Nitroman will go after next, and he's weak to the Chill Spike. Because the Chill Spike, as the name would suggest, makes spikes, and those aren't good for motorcycle tires. He's also vulnerable to being frozen by it, but if you do that, it'll only deal 1 damage to him, so you really want the spikes. You want him to run over them and experience a horrible pointy death. And finally, Strike Man, by process of elimination, is weak to the blade thing. The blade triple, yes. Again, basically because they had to fill out the weakness loop. One person suggested that it might be because there are 3 blades, 3 strikes, you're out. I suppose it makes as much sense as any other explanation. He goes down by it. He falls to it pretty easily. That's what I was trying to say. English. But yeah. Strike Man struck out, and now it's time for Wiley. I don't actually remember what his weakness is, at least not for this form. But for some reason, his ship is wearing a pirate hat. That's kind of silly. It seems to be... I wouldn't be surprised if his Mega Man 11 Wily Machine OW was actually inspired by this one. It has some certain similarities, dang it. But yeah, the way this part works is he shoots big missiles and little ones. You generally want to shoot the little ones before they become a problem, but you can stand on the big ones and indeed have to hit him sometimes. I want to say one of his forms is weak to the solar blaze, but I don't remember if it's this one or the next one. And again, the Buster works decently enough. So now it's time for Phase 2, because obviously he's not going to have just one. The spiraling shots you can lure into going up ahead. And these lightning things, he'll alternate between starting up front and going backward, and starting in the back and going forward. So the next one will come from the back of the screen. And he also has those little electric trap things. Wait, maybe he doesn't alternate. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding. Actually, wait a minute, never mind. The safe spot is always directly under Wiley, no matter which direction they are going. And that's gonna, yeah. The electric traps don't actually hurt you, you can shoot out of them and you'll be fine. But they do open you up to getting hit by other things, as you saw right there. So let's try this again. See if I can do a little better at the first part. We have 8 E-Tanks, so I'm not too terribly worried, but I feel like this is one of the Wily bosses that's easy enough and fair enough that I could actually beat him without E-Tanks, so seems a bit cheap. It's not a case like Wily Machine 7, where it's nigh impossible not to take a couple health bars worth of damage. Well, we almost got his first phase down. And he's down. Okay, Spiral your thing at me. Learn to aim better. Also, where is that thing actually even coming from? Is it the pink whistle-shaped thing in the back? Yeah, I think that's supposed to be it. There's just no animation for it because Wily's designed to look like a boss on the NES. Did not get very many hits on him that time. Ah. Whoops. Yeah, pretty much just rinse and repeat this pattern. Try to avoid getting hit. Getting hit is hazardous to your health. I do think the more the series progresses, the better they get at designing Wily battles, for the most part. And that was just complete failure. So does anything he does deal more than 4 damage? I do not remember. I mean, it's not a very difficult fight, but if you're not aggressive enough about shooting him, it can take a while. That was some decent damage. Okay, he only has 3 HP left. Can I... Ooh, that was close. 3 and... Seems like he always shoots 4 of the spiraling shots, too. But we got him! No E-Tank usage. But as you can imagine, that's actually not the end of the game. Nope, we have one more Wily stage to deal with.